Get ready with me while I tell you about my horrific BBL story.
Please tell me your BBL experience. Nowadays, though, I actually think that maybe injections might be safer than actual BBLs.
This is one of the reasons why you have to be so careful if you're going to get a non-surgical BBL.
A mum of 3 who died days after undergoing a Brazilian butt lift surgery did not consent to the procedure, an inquest heard.
BBL Problems, Part 1.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Cynthia here, and guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at people that have come to tell us their horrible BBL stories. Now, one thing I like about this is the sincerity of these people and how they're letting the public know it's not a bed of roses. So many things can go wrong, which we already know, but it looks like a lot of people still don't know about that. Often a time I've come here and I have seen people having a major complication while at it. I've also seen numbers and numbers of people losing their lives to the BBL surgery, and the more awareness is made about this, the better. Because when I look at some of these people that have because of the BBL surgery and the kids they left behind, I just feel sorry for the kids. Now, without wasting too much time, let's get right into this video.
Get ready with me while I tell you about my horrific BBL story. So I've had 2 BBLs. For my first BBL, I did not have much money. I hadn't been doing OF for very long, and I had been hearing about these girls going to Turkey and getting them done for like half the price. So that's what I did. I found a clinic. They were easy to talk to and had good reviews. Like, the reviews were all excellent, which looking back is probably a red flag. And they were like one of those package deal places. Surgery, accommodation for 2 weeks was like all included in the price. So I arrived to the place and like their driver picks me up. We go to the hospital to meet the surgeon and the surgeon's not there. Searching for this guy for like an hour, and then so we end up going to the clinic and see if he's there. He's not there. It's a whole mess. And keep in mind that there's like a language barrier. The guy can barely speak English. So I really don't know what's going on. After like 4 hours, we find this guy. We start talking about what I want, like what my goals are. And he immediately shuts me down and says like, I don't have enough fat for the surgery. I gained like 10 kilos for their surgery. I know that I had enough fat. It was almost like he was setting me up for low expectations early on so I didn't get disappointed. Anyway, surgery day comes along, like in the operating room. I kid you not, it was like everyone's worst nightmare. I was on the operating table getting surgery and I could literally feel everything. Basically, when you get lipo done for a BBL, they have this rod and they like stick it in you and it sucks out all the fat. I could literally feel that sucking the fat out of me. It was like this burning, the most excruciating pain I've felt ever. And I was paralyzed. I could not move. All I could feel is the like tears streaming down my face. Obviously didn't give me enough sedation because I felt everything and then I remembered everything after. I could literally hear them like gossiping while they were doing surgery on me. Where I must have passed out like from the pain or something, because the next thing I remember is waking up and knowing that something was not right. Woke up freezing cold, like my body was literally vibrating. I know theater rooms are cold, but I have had a few surgeries and I've never woken up like that. My body was not coping. I was projectile vomiting everywhere. I woke up lying on my butt, which like when you get a BBL, you're not meant to put any pressure on it for 6 weeks. Otherwise the fat cells will die. I was trying to tell the nurses, but they were like, no, it's fine. Like, this is how we do it. I was just stressing out thinking I've just paid all this money and now I'm getting ruined by sitting on my butt. So I always completely forget about this part because of just the trauma of the whole thing. But as I was getting discharged, a male nurse literally gropes me while he's trying to dress me. This is like the next day after surgery, so I am like out of it. Luckily, like a female nurse walks in and he stops. He had to escort me to my car and he literally did it again in the elevator. I completely blocked this out of my memory until like 3 months after the surgery. Get to the hotel and the next day you have to do like these lymphatic massages. Go to take my garments off, like you have to wear these compression garments. I go to take them off and like my body literally looks the same. Like I still have my hip dips, I still had the fat. They just keep telling me like, oh, it's a swelling and you won't see the result until like blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, maybe they're right, you know, like I am not the expert. So I fly home literally first class because I don't want to lie on my butt. Even after the surgeon told me I could, I still didn't because I didn't want to affect my results. I was eating right. I was doing everything perfect. Within 2 months, like the fat that was transferred had gone. I later find out from my next surgeon, like if the fat isn't purified properly when it's taken out, it will die. So I see my next surgeon about a year later for a second BBL. And he told me that they had just taken chunks out of my back. Like, it was so uneven. He could not believe that I woke up lying on my butt. I meant to wake up face down after the surgery. A lot of clinics from Turkey actually steal his photos. But I love my results now. Shout out to Kim. So please don't ever go to Turkey and get a BBL. I don't care how good the clinic looks, it's just not worth it.
So many things in this video, so many things. First of all, her feeling every single thing happening on her body while in the theater is not good. I thought you're supposed to be on some form of, anesthesia, like an injection to numb your whole body, if possible, make you fall asleep. And then the whole surgery itself, come on. What? Another thing we're going to talk about is all these places that would do a combo deal or a promo deal. Anybody doing a promo deal for your body, that should be like a number one red flag not to even listen further what the person has to say. I feel like some people have courage because going through this the first time and still open-minded enough to go through it the second time is baffling. Like, I can't even overemphasize that.
I'm going to try to make this as short and to the point as possible. But basically, the clinic that I went to was CG Cosmetics in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida. And the doctor who I thought was going to do my BBL, my skinny BBL, because that's what I wanted. I wanted like a more natural, I just wanted a natural look. I wanted to look like I been working out my whole life. Was Dr. DeSouza. I had seen a girl here on TikTok who got her body done by him and her results look pretty good. Like, I was like, oh, like she looks really natural. That's what I want. I don't want to look too over the top because I'm already small built. So it was just like, okay, let me book my surgery with him. What I didn't know was that at the time of the surgery, a different doctor was going to be operating on me. And till this day, the clinic denies it. But when I was going to go under the knife, like under the anesthesia, Dr. DeSouza was not in the room with us. Like, where were you? Yeah. And before that, I never had a proper consultation with him. So I had not shown him my inspo pics. He had no idea what he was going to do on me. Literally, I had to demand them to be like, hey, where's Dr. DeSouza? Where's this man at? Because he doesn't even know what he's going to be doing. Mind you, I'm already in like the whole like surgery attire or whatever. So I don't have my phone on me. I can't pull up my inspo pics. All I told him was I want a nice, small, tiny waist, hips, and a plumpy butt. Did he deliver that? No. I mean, my waist is okay, but like the rest, botched. And right when I woke up from surgery, I woke up with no faja. The first time I saw myself in the mirror, my body looked so deformed. Like, that picture haunts me till this day. Like, it was so bad. I was depressed for a week. I cried. I literally had like very dark thoughts because I was like, how am I going to live with this body? Thankfully, it kind of like, I started to shape it because I started working out and then wearing the faja, like, and yeah, but I ended up developing fibrosis, which is when they don't drain you properly. That fluid would like harden and then it like turns into like bumps in your stomach. So my stomach is an insecurity now that I didn't have before. My butt isn't shaped how I wanted it to be, and it's very hard to like reshape your butt. So That's dumb. All I can say is do your research and listen to the red flags. My red flag was that he had 11 girls scheduled for surgery on the same day as me. There's no way in hell that somebody can do 11 surgeries in one day by themselves. Where the fuck am I going? Oh my god. But overall, it's been 2 years now. My body looks better. I'm learning to accept it, even though it's been really hard because I'm like, I paid all this money, put my body through so much pain, just for me to end up disliking my body more than when prior to the surgery. And then, um, I'm still going to the gym, so I could have just done that from the beginning. But of course, like, I was way younger. I was like 22. Very impressed. Like, I had just moved to Miami and the body dysmorphia was so real. So I don't blame anyone for the choices they make. I believe that every woman has the right to do what they want to their body. But I do blame these clinics for the negligency, and for them not, taking accountability for their actions. I did complain, and they did try to offer a resolution, which was another BBL that they were going to pay for. I just had to pay for the anesthesia, and I had to pay for like the massages and everything else that comes with. If you guys don't know, those massages add up. The anesthesia was $1,000, and I was just way too scared and too traumatized to go through that again, to like put my body through all of that again. That I was like, there's no way that I'm getting another BBL by the same doctor or by the same clinic. So maybe in the future I will get my body done again to correct it 100%. But the only doctor that I would probably trust to do this would be Dr. Young Money, and then Dr. Sack. He's based out of Miami. But ladies, beware. Stay away from these Instagram clinics. Stay away from the Dr. Miami clinics. Stay away from Miami 305 or CG Cosmetics or any of those like very Miami. Like I just no. Go to a professional. Go to someone who's board certified in the U.S. and make sure that they have all their certifications. And they're not just like a plastic surgeon, but they're actually like a surgeon for whatever thing. They're specialized in that one area. But this is my story. Hope this helps someone out there to just take their time and do their research and know that like your body is worth more. Take your time. Don't rush it. Do your research. Miami's always going to be there. The boats are going to be there. The parties are going to be there. And sometimes your natural body, the body you were born with, is 10 times better than going through surgery to achieve like an unrealistic beauty standard.
I like what she said at the end. And this is coming from somebody that has undergone the BBL surgery. So many times when people that haven't done the surgery preach against it, people come in the comments and they're like, you're a hater because you cannot afford it. Now, this is somebody that has afforded it and is coming to still tell us that it's better to love your natural body. And the truth is, I understand that some people have fantastic results, but most of the time we hear things like this. She even said she's still going to the gym now. She should have as well just kept going to the gym right from when she thought she needed the surgery. It would have still been the same results, if not better. A red flag I saw in this was your surgeon doesn't have an ISPO picture and you're about having the surgery. Like, what is he trying to do on you? And again, they offered, out of their kindness, offered her a free surgery, but she was going to pay for the rest of the things. Now, I'm so happy she didn't take the free surgery because what? You guys botched her the first time. Why would she want to have another surgery with you guys for free? That was smart of her to decline. And she did say in future she might have another surgery done. Well, if you ask me, I think it's best to stop now and just like keep working out just like she's been doing. But I mean, guys, she's the owner of her body. Anything she wants to do with it, it's really on her.
I just realized that you never heard my first BBL story because I was so embarrassed because all of the fat transfer dissolved. It reabsorbed. So I looked exactly the same 3 months after surgery as I did going into surgery, but $15,000 poorer on a server salary. Okay? But because I was so embarrassed and I never told you, I never got to tell you the horror story that was pre-op. So now I get to tell you because I got it fixed. About like a year and a half ago, I just still wear the things because they're so comfortable. I had paid and booked this surgery in like a 20-second whim. Like I called the plastic surgeon and I was like, can I come next month? And they're like, sure. And I just sent them $5,000. Like didn't even give myself a second to think about it because I was going through a breakup. So I'm like, fuck it. I want to be happier right now. This is what's going to make me happy right now. And I need that right now. Okay, period. So I tell my main group of friends and my mom and dad, like, within like a week of leaving, and both of them are convinced that I'm gonna die. Like they are just calling me every single day being like, you are gonna die, you are gonna die, you are gonna die. Like because I'm the first person in my family and in my friends to get surgery, right? So everyone was terrified, and this is like also like 5-6 years ago. So it's like it wasn't talked about as much, you know? So every morning I'm getting these calls and text messages and I'm like, this is just giving a negative energy, right? So I tell everybody that I've canceled the surgery. I tell everybody that I've first told that I've canceled. And then I secretly get on a plane to another country and nobody knows. Nobody knows that I'm secretly on this plane. I get there and I get to the hotel. They have double booked me. I cannot stay in that hotel. So I am walking the streets of the ghetto with my luggage, not knowing the language, not knowing absolutely anything, trying to find a hotel, and everything is booked because apparently it's spring break or something. Every hotel is booked. So I pull up to a little shack, and they have like, oh, we have a room. It's also like $200 US, which is like $350 Canadian, right? And the windows are broken. Like there's a punch hole through. There is gunshots going on. And a mom is kicking out a deadbeat dad, throwing all of his clothes outside. Got into this hotel room. I hear the stuff going on. I hear the police. I hear the gunshots. And I sit with my back against the door because there's nothing else I can do. I cannot go to sleep in this room. My appointment is at 6 a.m. the next day. And I sit there looking at the wall until 6 a.m. convinced that this is my last night on earth and my parents and my friends are going to find me in this hotel room dead by morning on a secret mission to go get plastic surgery. Anyways, the sun rose and I got the surgery, and the surgery was surgery. It was embarrassing that it didn't work out, but now that it's fixed, it's okay. But yeah, that is trauma that like I gave to myself, and I can't like blame anyone for that, because sitting there with no safety net was the craziest thing I've ever gone through.
I don't know, guys, but like putting yourself in that kind of situation, yes, she didn't know the condition was going to be like that, but I mean, that was like number one red flag to go back home. Hearing everything she said that happened that night and even the surgery being a flop, I mean,
Please tell me your BBL experience. Nowadays, though, I actually think that maybe injections might be safer than actual BBLs.
Well, the BBL process is fucking mental.
Yeah.
Like when I see the healing process, I think fair.
Yeah, I mean, we have a
100%.
story. One of the surgeries we went to for the second one in Turkey.
Oh my
Me and
days.
Mandy, like, literally thought we were dying.
Yeah,
really.
Like, we literally, I feel like we almost died. We were bleeding excessively in the hotel room in Turkey.
But when I woke up, Anna, I was on a hospital bed covered in blood.
Mandy was like this on the hospital bed.
Yeah. The whole bed was
Oh
blood.
my God.
And I was vomiting at the same time.
Nah.
And at the same time, I had a cataract. So it's like, it's attached to your bladder or whatever. And then you basically I couldn't pass urine. I was like pissing in a bucket, vomiting and bleeding for like 3 days. And when we went to the hotel,
We were going to pass out, both of us. We were both like
yeah.
trying to help each other.
Thank God you were both there.
We
though.
both, yeah, it was really, really scary.
Oh my God.
And my mum had no idea because we lied to her.
she would never have let us.
Really?
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
yes, even when I listen to it, it's already a nightmare for me. I can imagine how it is for them. That sounded so rough. People put themselves through things. That's all I can say, because how will I know that this is a possibility and I'll willingly put myself through it?
This is one of the reasons why you have to be so careful if you're going to get a non-surgical BBL. I've said a lot on this app that I don't advocate for surgical BBLs. Well, what about non-surgical BBL? In non-surgical BBLs, you're injecting high volumes of filler, some hyaluronic acid based and some collagen promoting into your body. First issue is some people are using illegal and dodgy fillers just like this one. Second issue is injecting large volumes of foreign material like filler into somewhere like the bum can really be a breeding ground for infection. In the face, we use much smaller amounts, so it's way easier to control and dissolve. Lastly, the bum has a lot of blood vessels in it, so there is that theoretical risk of a vascular occlusion in your bum. So you could get dead tissue of the bum. No one wants that. Non-surgical BBLs just are quite new, so the evidence isn't there to evaluate how safe it is. If you're going to do this, please go to someone who's really skilled and knows what they're doing and has been doing this for a while.
You know what I want to say? This bomb has suffered. This bomb God gave us has suffered. First of all, we use it to sit. As if that's not enough. It goes through surgery. As if that's not enough. I'm now seeing the people are injecting nonsense into the bomb. Justice for the bomb is all I have to say, because what? It's going through a lot of things that are not even healthy for you as a whole. Some of these fillers being injected into the bomb because you do not want to have the expensive surgery is even worse, because you don't even know what they're injecting in you. At least the BBL, it said that it's your own fats that they're injecting into the bomb, but like these fillers, this injection, BBL shots, like they call it, like you don't even know what it is. People that do this should take things easy. It's really not that deep.
A mum of 3 who died days after undergoing a Brazilian butt lift surgery did not consent to the procedure, an inquest heard. Demi Agolia, 26, died in Turkey after a barbaric operation contributed to by neglect with no proper pre-operative care and advice, a coroner warned. Demi travelled to Turkey for the operation after seeing celebrity endorsements for Istanbul-based comfort zone surgery on social media. Coroner John Pollard found there was no proper informed consent and no proper pre- or post-op care. He added something further needs to be done to stop this frankly barbaric medical practice being conducted to such low standards. They would certainly not be tolerated in the UK. Demi learned about the procedure from influencer ads on social media, which did not highlight the dangers of BBLs. The mother of 3 was said to be conscious about the way she looked and was insistent on undergoing the procedure, which sees fat taken from elsewhere on the body and injected into the hips and buttocks. Immediately after the operation, she was shaking and appeared very, very cold. Staff from Comfort Zone were called to the villa where she was staying after Demi complained of a tight chest. They checked her blood pressure, but did not inspect the area of the operation or check her heart rate and pulse. Demi then collapsed at the villa and was taken back to a hospital in Istanbul, where she died on 8th January, 3 days after the operation.
There is something about this I'm not getting. How did she have a BBL without consenting? Is there anything like that? And I heard comfort zone. What is that? I mean, we learn every day, but this one, there's just something about this. I mean, just crazy. No pre or post-op care. So she just saw an ad from an influencer and went straight to the surgery. And people need to be careful about following things they see influencers promote, because some of them are not what it seems to be. People need to open their eyes if you're going to follow an influencer's word. Like, do your research. Make sure you're checking whatever they're promoting is. Like, check what it is. Because sometimes they might just be promoting nonsense.
Lady went and got her a tummy tuck in Mexico. The doctor named Dr. Chavez who did her surgery. And she stayed there for 4 days. After 4 days, she ended up going back home to Wisconsin. She even said when she went to the recovery house, they tried to put on her a faja that was like a 1X, and she couldn't wear it because it was too tight. She said she was in so much pain that she begged them to take it off. So they put her on the binder. So she said on the flight home, she could not get comfortable, like at all. It just felt so tight. Her stitches was so tight. By the time she got home, she got to go to the ER because she's very sick. And the doctor see she had dead tissue. Her hemoglobin was very low. So they pressed her like, where did you get this surgery at? Because she's telling them that she got it in Miami. Finally, she told them the truth. She actually had surgery in Mexico. Girl, they gave her 2 units of blood, antibiotics, and pain meds, and referred her to a wound specialist. Boom, her motherfucking stitches pop open. They refused to even stitch her back up or touch her or help her. She even said she got observed by a plastic surgeon, and they told her that the stitches that doctor put on her did not have enough strength for the tension needed for the tummy tuck. She got an infection, a non-operating drain, and pain, a stomach that looked pregnant. Can't nobody get her stitches out. This is why I always say it is dire to do y'all research. Please do y'all research. If you're going to do anything to your body, do your research. Please.
Honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this. Imagine your stitch. It's quite uncomfortable, I must say. Having your stitch come up open. Now, the reason why I feel some type of way is women that have undergone C-section to birth a child. I'm just imagining the stitch down there opening up. It's going to be a horrible experience, a horrific one at that. Ooh, I don't know, guys. Just imagining it in my head is just making me feel some type of way. And somebody said somewhere it's cheaper to love yourself. Regardless, I'm guessing why so many women are getting this tummy tuck and BBL surgery done is because they've given birth and their body has not remained the same. I've been there. Oh, I'm still there. I just gave birth. And it's crazy, you know. When you look at yourself and you picture your old self like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, you're like, I was never like this. It can be traumatic, it can be depressing. All I would say, or all our advice, is just give yourself time. You just had a baby. Give yourself maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. Your body would calm down. You'll be back. And then you want a fire result. Couple it with gym, couple it with exercises, couple it with eating right. You won't believe that you were once like that. This whole thing is just discipline.
It's for the BBL horror story that I promised you about a year ago, and now we're just getting around to doing it. I know that I am taking my time, but do you know what? I figured that I had to be in a place where I could actually talk about it and not cry, because, mate, you best believe I'm not going to start crying on TikTok. Nah, I'm not doing it. It's not me. It's not my thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this little mini series where I go through the whole process of why, what happened, and the after effect of having this life-changing decision. So first things first, a few disclaimers are, I don't need anyone to tell me, you can if you want, but I don't need anyone to tell me, like, why did you do that? Obviously, I don't know why I did it. Like, it's a really strange thing to do. Looking back at my now self to my past self, I'm judging her. I'm like, ew. But now I'm like out the other side. I don't understand why I did it. I've even had a bit of therapy to try and make myself understand why I did it. I still don't really understand why. I have just been diagnosed with ADHD. Maybe that's why. Apparently, it's impulsive behaviours as well. I don't know, but I did it, and this is where I am. If I can't tell you the story and maybe help somebody from making a life-changing decision, then what's the point? If you go through something like really bad, which for me this was, and you live to tell the tale and you don't warn anyone, I don't know if I like that. So I think, do you know what? I'm going to tell my story, even if I get one view. Like, somebody might be like, oh, actually, that's made me feel differently about it. Let's start off with why did you do it? So I don't actually really know. I have got ADHD, and I'm not blaming everything on that. But ADHD, they said that on my score thing, they said that you are impulsive. So maybe that's something to do with it. I'd like to just blame that and be like, damn. But I think I'd had my boobs done. I'd had some composite veneers, bit of Botox and lip filler. And I was like, what next? Do you know what I mean? I was like, what can I do now? Like, I'm annoying. Like, I find that Josephina annoying. Like, what bit can I have now? I'm not happy. I want something else, like a little nip, a little tuck. Like, we're all guilty of it, obviously, but I felt like I'd got too far into it. I was like looking at things like, I want to change this, I want to change that. Oh, I didn't ever feel ugly. I wasn't like, I fucking hate myself. To be honest with you, I'd be lying if I said that. I'd love to say to you guys, I felt really unattractive and that's why I did it. I didn't. I felt fine and I just wanted something else done. Everybody's different. Some people like skinny, some people like muscly, some people like curvy. I just liked the curvy look. So I started doing my research. I went onto the internet and I started looking at places to get BBLs in the UK. And I found somewhere, but this is just from my opinion and my experience of what I saw and heard and researched. I believe that in the UK, they can only transfer a certain amount of fat. And I wanted a little bit more. I wanted it to be a little bit more obvious, like more of like an hourglass. So I then went on and started to look somewhere else, overseas. And I did. I found somewhere that said that they sort of like practice a safe BBL technique. And it was like hook, line, sinker, mate. I was sold. I was like, I'm obsessed. Like, I really liked the look of the place. I liked the look of the person as well. I just had a really good feeling, really researched, found some people that had surgery by him. And I felt like almost starstruck. Like, I loved the look of it. I was like, I can't wait. Like, I got excited because of this whole like safe BBL thing that it was all talking about. Like, this is safe. Like, you're fine. Like, that's how it come across to me. Okay, to me, this is my experience and what it come across to me. So because I wasn't fat, and I didn't have much fat to work with, I wanted to have more projection, and I wanted to have a more sort of obvious look. So I decided to have a BBL with implants. The implants, like, I've looked and I researched them, and they looked like really natural. They didn't really look any different to the BBLs, but the people with more fat got the implant look if they didn't have the implants. Does that make sense? So say like you went and you didn't have hardly any fat, then you'd get the implants probably. But if you had a lot of fat, then you'd end up looking like you had the implants. But I wasn't fat, like, and I didn't have a lot of fat to play with. I was little, and I've never really been really big, apart from 2020 when everybody just sat in an A. I put on a bit of weight, but I wasn't big, and I could have done with putting on more weight. So I did decide to have the BBL with the butt implants, which probably was the worst mistake of my entire life. Even with just the BBL, it would have been, but this was even worse. It was almost like tick, tick, tick for the worst thing you've ever done. So surgery is booked, and I'm so excited at this point. They gave me a list of like supplements and things like that I needed to take before to prep me ready for the surgery. So they were just like, this is what you need to take. Like, you should be doing this, this and this. And I was like, okay, I'll do anything you tell me to do. I was the sort of candidate, like the teacher's pet, if you like. Like, I was like, I'll do anything to make this like work and be good. So they sent me that. I did everything. My mum was coming out with me for the first week, and then my boyfriend was to come out on the second week, like a couple of days before I was coming home. That was the plan. Before I went, there were a few people that told me stuff, like family members. So my sister's husband said to my sister, look, like, what she's doing, like, this surgery isn't good. I've like really researched it. He's one of them people that will research everything. Like, if he was to buy a car, he knows everything about the car. If he's to go and buy air fryer, he knows everything about the air. Like, he's one of them people. So he's obviously researched stuff and seen that like BBLs are dangerous. But in my head, I had it that they weren't for this particular place that I was going. I was like, no, because I'm safe with this person. Like, this place I'm going, it's safe. He's like, no, the surgery's unsafe. I was just like, oh, you have no idea. Like, I literally felt like that. I felt so confident, and I felt like my life was in their hands and I was fine. My mum and dad were a bit like, have you really thought about this? This isn't great. And obviously my boyfriend. But the thing is I had my blinkers on. I was tunnel vision, like, no, I'm having it done. I don't care what anyone says. And now I look back at that, I feel bad for my family that were like trying to stop me from doing it, because they were trying to stop me, and I was just like, la, 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 I wanted it done. I really should have just like sat down with somebody and listened and like talked it through, and maybe looked at some of the risks and the things that might happen, but I just didn't. I had it in my head. This was my destiny, and I wanted to do it.
Before we even get into the part 2, this is the first time I'm hearing BBL and butt implants in the same sentence, and it doesn't sound right to me at all. Anyway, let's get right into the part 2.
Part 2 of my horror story. Dazim Bati Demon Istrador here. We are in part 2, and I am going to be doing a little bit of makeup as I go. So, as you saw yesterday on part 1, we went through the why. So hopefully that gave you a little bit more of an understanding to why I was going to go and do something like this. But let's take ourselves now back to where we actually are about to have it done. So the day before, I went and had all of my checks and everything like that to make sure that I was fit for surgery, which I was. Saw the clinic where I was going to be going. Everything looked fine. From the outside, you'd never ever think in a million years, I suppose, like a lot of places, that was going on in there. But it obviously is, and it looked fine inside, nothing untoward. So the next day, we make our way, we got picked up, and we make our way over to the clinic and basically wait to get called in for surgery. I was, I think, like quite far down the list. There was a few people ahead of me. I'm not sure how many like BBLs they're doing in a day. I don't know all that information, but there was, I think, 2 or 3 people ahead of me. So me and my mum had to sit and wait. It was the most boring thing ever, because obviously you're nil by mouth and you're just sitting there in the room, not really doing anything. So that was really stressful. And my mum was being really impatient, which was making me feel impatient. She was like, when are they coming in to get you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've like never done this before. It was making me feel really, really stressed. However, finally got wheeled down. My mum gave me a kiss on the head and said, love you. And I got wheeled in. But if I'm honest, I was buzzing. Like, I couldn't tell you how excited I was. So I get wheeled down and everybody's like really friendly in there, like talking to me, took some pictures of me, like standing like against the wall. And then I had to make my way over to the table. And they like laid me down on the bed. And then I remember being pushed sort of forward, and a really painful, deep pain going into like my back. I don't know whether they was doing like an epidural or anything like that. I don't know what it was. Like, it was like maybe like a numbing thing. I don't know, but they put it into my back, and I was like, because I was like going to sleep at the same time, but I felt this intense, like extreme pain going into the bottom of my back. When I came round, I can sort of remember screaming, but it's a real blur. Like, I can remember trying to get off of the bed, and I know I was screaming. They told me that I was, and I can remember like parts of it. I can remember it sort of like coming back afterwards. Like I was like, ah, get me out. Like I was freaking out, really. Like I just was freaking out basically. I got taken into the room where my mum was, and she wasn't happy. Like she was asking one of the like medical staff what's happened to her, like what's going on. And the doctor that actually did it said to my mum, she became hysterical. So I don't know why I was hysterical, but I was. And it feels like you've been hit by a bus. So obviously I didn't really realise it was going to be that painful. But you have to lay straight on your front. You have to be laying directly down onto your front. I found that really difficult. I didn't want to be on my front. I wanted to stand up. And they were like trying to force me to lay down on my front. My mouth was dry, but I had to wait until I could have anything to eat or drink for a while. I'm not sure how long it was. I can't remember how long it was, but it was a while till I was allowed to drink anything or eat anything. And I remember my mouth being really dry, and I was like, I think I was just in panic. And for some reason, that was how I reacted to having the surgery, was just pure panic. So after a while, I think my mum had like messaged the family and said, she's okay, but she's not. Which then made everybody a bit like, what? Like, why is she? So then I stayed overnight in the hospital. My mum went back to where we were staying. And I don't really remember a lot, to be honest with you. It's really... I was sick. I remember being sick into the toilet. And you're just in like a bit of another planet. You just feel like you've been really badly beaten up. And when I'm in pain, I normally just go a little bit mute. Like, I wasn't really speaking. And I wasn't talking on my phone. I didn't want to look at my phone or anything. I just felt really like... I just wanted to be left alone. That being said, I was still quite excited about what it looked like. I could go to the toilet. I was allowed to get up to go to the toilet. So when I went to the toilet, I sort of stood up and like looked in the mirror, and I was like happy with what I saw. It looked nice. Like, it didn't look odd. I had a slight dip in one side of my hip that I didn't have on the other side. But other than that, I thought, oh, that's probably just going to like fill itself out. And as far as it went for the pain, I didn't really think it was ever going to be that painful. I thought it was going to be a lot more easier going than that, because I thought so many people have this done, like, but it is painful. It's really, really, really painful. Probably one of the most painful things I've ever had. But I was looking forward to it. I still felt quite positive, even though I felt ill and I didn't feel right. I felt positive and I was excited about the results. That was my main thing. And I just wanted to heal and come home. So I went back to where we were staying, and I was in, which had like a pack that would like fart. So they were like every now and then, and it would sort of like suck, I think, obviously everything out, all like the excess fluid out. So I had those attached to me, which I had to carry around, which was really fun. And I just had to lay flat. That was like the instructions. You could get up for a bit. Like, you couldn't get up for long, but you could get up for a bit and go to the toilet and that. But primarily 90% of the time you have to be laying on your front, unless you're going to the toilet or you're going down to get something to eat, which obviously you have to be able to move for that. So I just went and I literally laid on my front. I started to get like sores here where you're like sitting on your front like this. You cannot lay on your side or your back. Like, it's non-negotiable. Back in the room, my mum's staying obviously for 7 days, so I think she's got at this point like 5 days left or 4 days left. Go back to the room, and every day a nurse comes in the morning, she showers you, and then she dresses your wound, because you've obviously got a scar in your bum where they put like the implants. So that was okay for the first few days. Now, I had this like pain obviously in my bum cheeks that never really went. Like, it was always just like a dull like constant, and that was always there. Like, that never ever went from the minute I had it done. I did say like they're a bit painful, and they were like, yeah, well, you know, you have just had implants shoved in your asshole, so obviously it's not going to be pain-free. So I think I just accepted it, and I was like, I'm going to be in pain. I've chosen to have this surgery. Like, what did I expect? I expect it to be a walk in the park. No, it's like a big surgery, so like, get over it, Joe. Like, stop being moany about it. And I didn't want to moan about it, because I suppose as well, where I'd gone and had it done, I didn't want to show anybody that I was moaning, because that's the last thing I wanted to do. I wanted it to look like, yeah, it's gone really well and everything's fine. But I think even, I'd say a good couple of days after, I did feel ill. Like, I did. I felt not right. I felt poorly, and I felt like my bum was really, really throbbing, like, a lot. So I had a really nice nurse. Like, one nurse in particular was really, really good to me. And, you know, I'm literally, everything I'm saying is what happened from my point of view. I'm not going to ever, like, try and make it sound worse. Like, this is literally an account of what happened from myself. Do you know what I mean? This is my story. So the nurse was lovely. She was a really kind person. She really looked after me when she was with me. They were like, they were busy. They had like a lot of people to get to, so you didn't have them for long. I'd say that they were like in your room for about 40 minutes ish, and then that was it. You're sort of, that was it. And then you get somebody again. So it's really, it's hard, because you cannot wait to see that nurse, because you can't wait to just stand up and get in the shower and have somebody like look at it and make sure that it's all going okay. The last day I was having my drains removed, and that was the day that my mum was to go home. So the day that I had my drains removed was when everything completely changed. Like, it just, the minute they were removed, like, for me, I was just done. It was over for me. I was like, I feel awful. I felt so poorly the minute they were out. And my mum was gone. So I'd had the drains removed and she was gone. So from that point, my mum was gone, and I had another week of recovering, and then my partner was to come and pick me up. So I'm just thinking, I need to get through this. I need to get through this week, because my partner's come in and I'll be able to be home and all of this will be over. But the minute they took out the drains, it was like a light switch. It was like a light switch. I felt so unwell. Everything in my body hurt. Everything. I ached in every part of my body. If I did that, it hurt. But you're trapped between a wall and a hard place, because you don't really want to moan. Because I feel like if you go on about it too much, it's like, well, yeah, honey, like, you've had this major thing done. Do you know what I mean? Like, where I'm coming from. Well, obviously, you're going to feel pain. It's like big said, but I wasn't getting better. I was getting worse. Like, I was getting worse day by day. And I think that's where, when my mum went home and the drains were removed, it went so downhill that the next part is so upsetting for me to even talk about. I don't even know how I'm going to get through it, because the next part is hell.
Okay, so I had to check again to just wrap this up. Apparently, she got nerve damage when she wanted the implants taken out. She did go get them taken out. Okay, so that's that. It's just that it was long, and I just want to summarize it all up for you guys. So she had nerve damage when taking them out, and some other complications, which, I mean, would have been avoided. But you know, people don't know these except they go through it. And it's really sad, to say the least, because these are healthy people that would go in to get these surgeries done and come out with one complication or the other. They may even end up regretting their whole existence after that. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I'm hearing somebody get BBL and implants at the same time. Usually out here, I got a BBL and then I got an implant, or I got an implant and then I got a BBL, you know. It's never been both of them at once. And the person that even conducted that surgery should be looked into, because why would you do that? Anyway, guys, these are just a few stories of some of these people that have undergone this procedure. And it's crazy. I just feel like these stories are just torture, you know? But I mean, guys, let me know what you all think about this in the comments. And yes, beautiful people, I've come to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give the video a fat thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.